Breaking news from the NFL. As let's first begin with this. This is the most valid, as Jalen Hurts is not going to play versus Dallas. He's not going to play against the Cowboys. And you ask, why is this? Why is this happening? Well, Dallas, when he was going to play against Dallas, he was expected to play. He got banged up last week. He had a shoulder sprain on his throwing shoulder. The expectation was it was only going to keep him out for a couple days, but a lot of Philadelphia insiders were saying it could be a couple weeks, it could be a month, it could be whatever. We have no idea. Hurts was supposed to, as he was saying, there's a definite chance that if I'm healthy enough, I'm going to play, which the Eagles had said the whole week. Yes, that is true. Yes, that's true. Absolutely. He's a different kind of guy. But earlier this morning, as we record this, Nick Sirianni ended the speculation saying Gardner Minshew would start. Now, Gardner Minshew's numbers in his first start of the year are pretty impressive. The only problem is now you eliminate the one thing that is very dangerous about your offense. Your offense controls what you could never have beaten Chicago without Jalen Hurts. You could have never beaten the Colts without Jalen Hurts. You couldn't. That's just a fact. So we're talking about We're talking about 2 more losses on your resume, 3 for the entire year without Jalen Hurts. And you could probably make the assumption if he didn't play against the Packers, they don't win that game, which I don't think is faulty at all. But Gardner Minshew's going to start, depending on the severity of the shoulder issue. We'll see. But this is not a shock. I told you this yesterday. I won't believe it that Hurts isn't going to play until either the Eagles say it or he says it. And that could be on Saturday, the day of the game. But right now, Jalen Hurts out versus the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this is more news. This actually happened a little bit over the week, and it was official today as the NFL announced a multi-year agreement to move NFL Sunday Ticket to YouTube. DirecTV had the rights to NFL Sunday Ticket since 1994. And actually, if I can find me and my brother were talking about this, that this could happen, but it only became official this morning. He sent me a text and he said YouTube will reportedly send $2.5 billion to gain the rights of NFL Sunday Ticket. To which he then said underneath that text, every game might be on YouTube TV next year. Which I agree. I was like, as I agree with that. And I've had this conversation with a lot of people over the last 2 years of it's not that the game isn't on YouTube TV that bothers me. Like, I would rather I'm old school, I watch the whole game, I don't watch the highlights. Highlights to me are like watching the nice parts of a movie when you know the whole movie is filled with gore. It doesn't matter. The good parts, you're gonna have 20 minutes of an hour and 30-minute movie. I wanna know the meaningful parts, and I wanna know how we all led up to this Sunday Ticket. was designed for that, for those people, including myself. And so when YouTube TV was created and all these things, NFL Plus, NFL Network, all these things, we all thought there's a possibility. There's a possibility that YouTube TV will bring in the next stage of people, to which Sunday Ticket was designed to do so. But when my whole thing about this is I want every game to be on YouTube TV. Because if cable ceased to exist by next year or 5 years from now, even 10 years from now, we're going to need this. We are going to need this. According to a report last year, DirecTV was not going to re-up anyway, so the likelihood of it going to another suitor was extremely high. But if my whole thing was Sunday Ticket should they should have every game. My whole thing, that the problem I had with YouTube TV was there was times where you would have a game and you know the game is playing. You can see it. 'Cause you're looking at the box score and you can see it's 7-0 said team. So let's say, for an example, it's Seattle versus Washington. And we see Seattle's winning 3-0, but you really want to see that Seattle versus Washington game. And you go on YouTube TV and you can't find it, but when you scroll and you look for it, you find the game is happening, but it won't allow you to watch it. And it will only allow you to watch in a couple days. I don't want that. I want, yep, the game is going on right now. We're sending to the action right now. Here's the game. That's what I want. And I hope NFL Sunday Ticket does that on YouTube TV. And that's going to start as soon as next year. Now, the main reason why I did this, because those things are important. Yes, Hurts not playing, Sunday Ticket moving to YouTube TV. That's all great things. But we've had a couple sad days in a row here. And now, if you don't know this already, which you probably should know this, ex Denver Bronco running back Rodney Hillman has passed away at the age of 31. Now, around 10 o'clock or so, I saw this, and you can find it. I believe it was Derek Wolfe, his former teammate, who went, I believe it was on his podcast, I'm not exactly sure. He said his former teammate, Rodney Hillman, is in hospice care. And hospice care with a rare liver disease and and pneumonia on top of that. Now, the chances of you living if you're in hospice care are very low, by the way. They're very low. The likelihood that you live, and if you do live, your life is gonna be pretty bad. Hillman was 31 years old. It came as a shocker, but it made me think a little bit. Yes, I know he had a cancer. He had liver cancer, and a rare kind of it. I understand that. But he when you look at all these different kinds of cancers, there's one cancer no one like, you always give a color ribbon or whatever to a person who has cancer or had cancer, whether it's prostate cancer, liver cancer, or anything. Stomach cancer, throat cancer, doesn't matter. When the only thing you don't get a ribbon for is lung cancer. And that's because people think that's controllable, that all these other kinds of cancers are not. This is, and therefore you shouldn't have it. And it was just making me think. I know people who had cancer, and I know people who still have cancer. And I know a person, or I know a couple people who actually have lung cancer. I know that. So it's never shocked me when people go and they say, I have cancer, and they say it's lung cancer or whatever. It's just saddens me that a guy in the beginning part of his life, because when he retired, he was retiring due to health concern of the violent hits and the violent and people running full speed. He he had retired, and I believe he had retired, he was 28. So he had only been retired a couple years. So it just makes it harder for me because this guy was entering the prime of his life in the second stage of his life. And it's very sad that a running back that young got something that devastating on top of having a pneumonia on top of it. It's sometimes this world can be very cruel. And as I said, Rodney Hillman passes away at the age of 31 due to liver cancer and a pneumonia.